everybody, welcome back to the third installment of the 204R transmission install in the 74 Corvette. The last video I found I had an issue with my throttle cable. This is the throttle cable that came off of the car, and after I bolted up the new bracket for the carburetor and the TV cable to run through and the throttle cable, I discovered that my old cable was about 3 inches too short. So I did have to order a replacement. This is the replacement. I just got it yesterday. It's from Mr. Gasket. I was able to order this through, I believe, O'Reilly's. My local Jegs did not have one. They did not know when they were going to be getting one. So, I was able to get this one. The part number, if you do need it for your car, is going to be 5657. Just type that in, do a search on it. It'll come up with a whole bunch of different people who carry it. And, yeah, you should be able to get one if you need one for your car. So, we're going to get this installed. We're going to see how hard it is to install it. The main reason I got this one is it has the GM connector right here, which matches up with the one right here. This is what will go through the, will go onto the bracket. I do believe this one's going to be a little different. It will bolt through the firewall, where this one actually went into the firewall with a clip. And this is actually the GM connector I was talking about. This little doohickey right here goes right onto the gas pedal. It snaps in right there, where we can see we have that piece right here. So it shouldn't be too bad to install this. We're going to get started on it. And then we should hopefully, at the end of this video, be driving the Corvette, taking it on a test ride, and see how this new transmission does. So, yeah, let's get into putting in this cable. Alright guys, so we got the cable ran up. What I did is ran it through the firewall with the threaded piece going into the firewall, and then the nut attaches on the other side near the gas pedal. So what we're going to do is run it up. This is where it's going to attach, of course. So what we got to do is, I got the cable taken out of it, and I'm going to have to cut the shielding right here. So what we're going to do is pull it back out. I'm going to mark it, pull it back out, and we're going to cut it with the Dremel tool here with a little cutoff tool, and hopefully that's going to cut through it, give me a nice clean cut, and then we continue getting it mounted up. Alright, so we got the cut made. So what we're going to do is try to thread on this little silver piece here. And then our little end piece goes on with that. Hopefully we're picking that up. It's right there. And then that is going to snap right into our bracket, just like so. This gives it a real nice finished look. So now we're going to get in the car. We're going to attach the cable to the pedal and then feed the cable up here so we can get everything bolted up with our linkage. So yeah, it's a pretty nice little setup. So let's get down there underneath the car and see how hard that is. Alright guys, after quite a few minutes of frustrating work here, we have got the throttle cable ran up to our plastic clip here in our bracket. Then the cable is going to run where it gets locked into this piece. And then you cinch it down right here. And then of course we got it bolted up right here above our bracket for our TV cable on the for the transmission. So what we're going to do now is we are going to finally get some fluid in this transmission, and give her a little start up here, probably while she's on the jack stands. Should be okay. Just make sure we don't have any kind of leaks or anything, but we are going to take this process nice and slow so we don't mess anything up. So alright, let's get some fluid in her. and then finally hooked the battery back up to the Corvette and started her up after probably about close to 2 weeks. With 2 weeks since she last ran. All right, guys. So it is finally the moment of truth. We have the funnel in the dipstick tube. We have all of our linkage hooked up. We got a drive shaft hooked up. We got everything bolted together on the transmission. Now is the moment of truth. We're gonna go ahead and start her up. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put her in reverse, put her in drive, not really give it a lot of gas, but I just want to make sure everything, these tire moves. It's a really rainy day, so unfortunately, yes guys, I am that Corvette owner that does not let my Corvette see rain. So we are going to wait until a nicer day. But we are going to double check, make sure we don't have any leaks. Like I said, we got 8 quarts of fluid in there. Got everything hooked up. So this is the moment of truth. We're going to start her up. Give her a couple shots of gas there. Alright, start right up. She ain't running too bad for sitting for the past 2 weeks. Give her a little bit of gas there. Alright, let's see what happens when we throw her in reverse. The RPMs went down a tad bit. And look at that, guys. Alright. We got rotation. Better yet, before I do all this, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's make sure we don't have any leaks. Because who knows, we could be pouring a whole shitload of transmission down onto the floor. Alright. Alright guys, I don't see anything leaking. First place we want to check. Get this wire that's melting on my exhaust. Alright. So look up right here at our lines. We don't have any leaks there, that's great. Nothing coming out of the fill tube, which is great. Nothing leaking around the pan. Nothing leaking around the harmonic balancer seal. So guys, we are not leaking at all. Nothing leaking out the back. Alright, I'm really happy. No leaks at all. So let's go ahead and see if we got 4 gears. Put her in drive. I'm sure some of you guys are going to say he's crazy, he's doing this on jack stands. Guys, this car's been sitting here for 2 weeks. It's not going anywhere. So let's put her in drive. See if I got 4 gears. And I want to also see. Okay, she went into drive. And look at that, guys. We also have our speedometer moving. We don't want to go too fast though. It is not good to rotate your rear end without it being on the ground. But we got 4 gears. Alright, so we're going to top this off. Gonna let it warm up a little bit. And then when I come back, it will definitely be a nicer day than this. And we will be getting the 74 Corvette out on the road, checking our T.C.B cable adjustment. Hopefully that's right. Hopefully I don't have any issues there. And then I'm also going to, well, you know what? I'm going to do that now. I'm going to go over how to properly find out what rear end gear you have, because that's really crucial with setting up your speedo gear. If you've seen in the last video, I used a yellow gear. There's a reason why I used a yellow gear, so my speedometer would be correct. So I'm going to show you guys how to get your gear reading, because a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I'll show you guys how to do it. As soon as we let it run a little bit, we'll cut it off, do that, and then when we come back after that, guys, we're going to be taking we're going to get the 74 Corvette out on the road again. I am super excited. I'm really hoping everything's going to be okay with that TV cable. But man, I am super excited about having an overdrive transmission finally in this car. Alright guys, so here we are underneath the car, and what I'm going to show you real quick is an easy way to find out what gear you have in your rear end. So as we can see right over there, we have got a mark on the tire on the bottom. Right here on the drive shaft, we've got a mark which I turned into an F, so I knew which way my front and back were. But initially, it's just a line right there. And what you're going to do is you're going to watch the drive shaft as you turn the tire to get it to come back down with that mark. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it. You see your tires moving. Your drive shaft's going to move more rotations than your tire, of course. Alright, so we're going to go, and right there is one. Okay, there's one rotation. Alright, so we're going to come around, and we got two rotations, and we still don't have our mark. Now when we come around to our third rotation, which is right on the other side of the drive shaft, I think we can pick it up. You can see our mark is right there making its way down. Here's our mark making its way around again. So right here we are at 3 rotations, but you notice our mark is not in the spot we started at. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it around. Okay, there it is, pretty much at the mark we started with, and there is our mark on the drive shaft. So it's a little past where we started, so that's going to tell you got 308 gear. If it was, say, over here, which that mark is probably right about right here, okay, it's about a quarter of the way coming back around, it's going to tell you got 373 gear. If it had 410s, it would come around here a 4th time and then come over about here to the side. So that tells me we got 308 gear. And then we'll go over to the bench. Alright, because over at the bench I also have more information that you're going to need to know to get the proper gear for your speedometer. So what we just found out right here is we have a 308 gear. Alright, right here I had to put in my tire size, which is a 295 50/15, which gave me my tire diameter in height, which I think was about 27 inches. Then you need to know your drive gear, and this is the gear that is inside the transmission that your speedometer gear is going to line up with. I have a red gear in mine that has 12 teeth. So when I put that in, and you can go on Google, you can go on transmission websites, there's a lot of ways you can put this information in that will tell you what gear you need. And I needed a 28 tooth yellow gear to correctly line up my speedometer with the new transmission. So alright, there's a little bit of information on that. Hopefully that helps you out. I am going to get the car on the ground, and like I said, it's been pretty rainy out, the roads are wet. I am not going to drive the car. I am that guy. Say what you want. My Corvette does not see rain. So we're going to get her on the ground. We got the fluids all filled up. And then the next, as soon as I come back right like this, we're going to be driving. Alright. Alright guys, so it's been a couple days now since we got the fluids filled up, got everything bolted back up to the transmission. We couldn't take it for a road test because of course it was a cloudy, rainy day in Ohio, but we can see right now it is a beautiful, beautiful day in Central Ohio. Got the Corvette all cleaned up, and yes, I've already been driving it, so I already know how the transmission's acting. I already know how it's shifting. We're out here, the beautiful countryside of Central Ohio, and we are going to take it down the road. We're going to check and see what the difference is with the overdrive working. I'm also going to use this app on my phone that has has a speedometer checker, or a mile per hour checker, I guess. So we're going to do a comparison on the Speedo gear to see how accurate it is. So we're going to get in the car and we're going to do all that stuff right now. Alright guys, so we're here in the car. We're doing about 40 miles an hour. All the shift points are great. The T.C.B cable is adjusted perfect. Everything is shifting as it should. And what we're going to do is we're going to come around this curve up here. We'll get the car up to 70 miles an hour. Hopefully all this is coming through. I do have the T-tops off, of course. There's quite a bit of wind noise. So hopefully everybody can hear me. We're going to go around this turn. We're going to get her up to speed here, and we are going to see what the big difference is with this overdrive. Alright, so we're hitting overdrive right now. There is 70 miles an hour at 2100 RPM. So hopefully everybody can see that. That is a difference of 900 RPM. I do gotta say the car is much more drivable. It's much more enjoyable. The engine's not going crazy. It's not at a high RPM. We're going to get her down about 60 right there. We'll hold her at 60. Hold on. Alright, well we're a little less than 60. We're about 58 miles an hour. And you can see right there, we're at about 57 miles an hour. So everything's working really, really good. The speedometer is spot on. The gear's working out really good. We're going to get the car back to the garage. We're going to wrap up this video. I'm going to take a little bit longer of time to get back. Alright, so I don't think anybody can hear me. It's a little windy in the car right now. So we're going to come back at the garage. Alright everybody, so we are back at the garage after taking a drive with the Corvette. Did about a 20-mile drive. Everything was perfect. The shifts were perfect. The shift points are perfect. Overdrive's kicking in exactly like it should. As we could see in the clip, we were at about, 70 miles an hour. We're at about 2100 RPM, which is a 900 RPM difference compared to where we were at 3000 RPMs. Even at 80 miles an hour, we're only at 2300 RPM, which is really great in comparison to what it was before. This makes the car a lot more drivable, a lot more comfortable. The engine isn't screaming, isn't having to work as hard. So I'm really happy with the outcome of this swap. I recommend, if you have a C3, you got a turbo 400 in it, please do this swap. It's worth it. Just make sure you have your correct yoke. Make sure you have your back bracketry in place that you're going to need. You're probably going to also need another throttle cable, as mine was about 2-3 inches too short. But yeah, overall it's a pretty easy swap. It would have been a lot quicker if I didn't have to wait on those parts. I think I had to wait for the yoke. I had to wait about 6 days. Then I had to also order the throttle cable, which took about another 4 days. So that right there was, over a week, about a week and a half of waiting, which really sort of sucked. I really wanted to get the car done quicker, but things happen. So, I am happy with the outcome of it. I'm pleased with the way the car is running. It's also going to allow me to hopefully do probably a change on that rear end. Thinking about going with a 373 gear, which will liven the car up a little bit, but it shouldn't increase the RPMs too much. So the car should still be pretty comfortable driving. And then on top of that, with the gas prices and the way everything are going to be this summer, I'm expecting hopefully about a 2 to 3 mile per gallon increase on the fuel. So it's going to be a win-win overall. So like I said, I'm happy with the way it's turned out. So we are going to wrap up the video on this. I hope everybody likes this video. Really pleased to be able to bring a detailed video to YouTube of this install, because when I was trying to do the research myself, I could not find one specifically tailored to the C3 Corvette. So hopefully it's helped some of you guys out with a Corvette, with an automatic Corvette, with a Turbo 400 or even a 350 to switch it over. Put in that 4-speed transmission. It makes the car a lot better, a lot more drivable. Also want to give a big shout out to all of the new subscribers. Subscribers have been growing. We're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers now. I'm anticipating that hopefully by the beginning of summer, maybe mid-summer, we should be at 1,000 subscribers. So welcome to the channel. I really hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. Got some more things with the Corvette that I want to do, and then we're also going to probably bring in a few more flip cars. So stay tuned for all that. Stay tuned for some more stuff with the Corvette. I also want to bring some videos when I take it to some car shows this year. Really want to do a lot more car shows than I was able to do last summer, especially with the virus going around and a lot of car shows being canceled. I'm really hoping that that's not the case this year. So hopefully we can all get these cars out, show them, and yeah, have a little fun and enjoy this summer a little more than we did last summer. So on that one, guys, I'm going to wish everybody a good evening. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, have a good one.